Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an exciting special edition of Mark's Side of the Ring. I am your host, Miguel Minetti, alongside my two best friends in the wrestling business, Nick Fiorentino and Fred DeCourt. How's it going, gentlemen, today?
Right today.
Fred, did you hear that? We're in the wrestling business.
How's it going, guys?
Finally, I've been waiting. I finally made it. Shit.
Finally made it. So, we have a really great show today for everybody, a special edition, but I know you two have been waiting to kind of get this off like you do every week. So tell us real quick for the listeners at home here, what do you got drinking? Nick, what are you drinking today?
So I'm drinking Vulcan de Cava. It's a tequila that's actually, the water is filtered through volcanic rock in Jalisco, Mexico, and it's aged in bourbon barrels for about a year. So it has a nice, crisp, clean taste with subtle notes of chocolate and very nice.
Well, that's 30 seconds of our lives we'll never get back, so thanks for that. Fred, how about you, bud?
I don't have as much of a description, but I'm drinking Screwball peanut butter whiskey, and it's good. That's all I know. I don't know where it came from or what it sat in, but I know I'm drinking it, so cheers, fellas.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a better description than Nick could ever give, so great stuff. But like I mentioned, we do have a very exciting episode today. The three of us were talking offline a few days ago, and we said in the spirit of the holiday season, everybody loves Christmas music. And speaking of music, what better time than now to talk about our favorite wrestling theme song music of all time. So this is officially the 2020 wrestling theme draft. And here to explain the rules is our very own Nick Fiorentino. So Nick, why don't you tell everyone how this is going to work, bud?
So what we decided to do with the wrestling theme song draft is just that. It's going to be a draft. It's not going to be a countdown of 30 to 1. What it's going to be is we picked our draft order. I will be going first, then Miguel, then Fred, and we'll be running snake drafting for those of you who are into all of the fantasy sports that there are. Basically means, for anybody who doesn't know what a snake draft means, is that I go first, Miguel goes second, Fred goes third, then round 2 starts, and Fred starts, and then Miguel, and then myself. So we'll keep going in reverse order so that we keep it fair. If a song is picked, it can't be picked again. And lastly, we're using any theme song from WWF/E, AEW, WCW, and I believe NXT. No Ring of Honor, no TNA, none of that garbage stuff.
All right. Well, thanks so much for explaining that, my friend. I'm ready to go. So why don't we kick it off, Nick? You got the number 1 overall pick. So let's do a little small drum roll. Go ahead, buddy. Who's your first overall pick for the best theme music of all time?
I keep going back and forth between two, and if you listen to Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets, I asked Tim and Sir their opinions, and who they gave are basically who I think is 1A and 1B. Depending on the day I wake up, it could be either one. I'm on the clock first. I'm going with the best wrestling theme song of all time, Hulk Hogan's Real American.
Wow. Hulk Hogan, Real American, draws the greatest, in Nick's eyes, the greatest theme music of all time. So, Nick, give us the 30 to 45 second spiel as to why you feel it's the greatest theme song of all time.
I mean, there's 2 reasons. One, crowd reaction, which I think you can argue what would have been my second pick also because of the crowd reaction, just makes it that much better. But I think when you just hear the song, it reminds me of my childhood. Growing up a Hulkamaniac, it's just when that song plays, you just lose your shit, no matter how old you are, and that's basically it. I don't have much more than that. I just think it's a catchy song. It's been used and parodied multiple times in multiple shows. Even Barack Obama comes out to it, in his speeches. So it's just as good as it gets. So give me Real American.
Great. Well, great first pick overall. I like it a lot. I guess that puts me on the clock. So mine's not going to be a very big surprise, and I'm glad.
Oh, my God. You're not picking that, are you?
I know, Nick. I'm so glad Nick did not steal my thunder. The greatest theme song of all time also goes to the greatest wrestler in professional wrestling history in my eyes, and that's Triple H's song, The Game. So The Game, to me, and Triple H has had a multitude of great theme music, but I'll give you my 30 to 45 second spiel on it. the minute in 2000, I think it was late 1 or early 2002, that Triple H switched to Motorhead's The Game, I fell in love with that song right away. Now, obviously, I've been following Triple H's career prior to when The Game theme music hit in front of our very own eyes. But to me, that's what resonates with him over the last 2 decades or so. I mean, now he uses a lot of different theme songs. He comes out to the King of Kings when he's the corporate suit-wearing COO of the WWE, Triple H. But when he's ready to get down into action, there's nothing better than hearing that guitar riff to kick us off for time to play the game. So for me, without going into too much detail, The Game, the theme song of The Game, is the greatest wrestling music of all time. Fred, you're up next, my friend.
While we wait for Fred's pick, Fred, I'll let you jump on in a second. But Miguel, can we get a Triple H water spit, or is that too much to ask?
Might be too much. Maybe next time. I'll do a mock one though for
the fans. The fans want to see it.
Triple H wouldn't have been any more prouder.
I think he would have been. I think.
But a little trivia that the Game theme song, he had obviously been using "My Time" by Chris Warren, who did the DX theme song, which I'm sure will be addressed in this countdown at some point or draft. But anyway. At Armageddon, exactly 20 years to the day today, Armageddon 2000, he debuted a new theme song with the sound of My Time, but the lyrics to The Game. So it was a different, he only used it like literally at Armageddon, and that was it. So I'm not sure exactly if The Game debuted the next night on Raw, but it was right around, he used that one odd song one night, and then he's been using The Game probably just about 20 years within the next week or so. Yeah. So crazy. That song is 20 years old. You don't think of that, you know?
Yes, sir. So you're up, Fred, with your first pick.
Well, we said that Triple H's theme song was 20 years old. I'm going to go a little far back, and a song that has been around for years. Damn near 30 years. So I think we know where this is going. I mean, he's my favorite wrestler, but in all fairness, I think he has the best theme song in wrestling for the simple fact that when it starts, you hear that iconic gong. Besides him being my favorite wrestler and all that, I just think that song is so iconic. It fit his character so well. There've been iterations, like when he first debuted, it was a little more of a little more organ to it, not as much pomp and circumstance. As years went on, they added more gongs and drums and things. And he's had a couple variations. I love the Ministry theme. I think that one is great. I always wish that he would do like a rare like WrestleMania, like where he came out to that as a special, just for the hell of it, because it was Mania, something different, but he never did. But that song, which they call Rest in Peace, that's, even though it's changed a little bit, that pretty much the same idea for 30 years, hearing that, along with obviously his entrance. I mean, I think he has the best entrance in the business. Other guys have great entrances for different reasons, like Triple H, like Hulk Hogan, all great entrances, but between the fire and the lighting and the smoke and the sound, just everything put together with his stoic presence, that's my first draft pick, Undertaker.
Good. It's a good one. Great pick. So you're in the snake draft. You go twice in a row. So you're up next with your next pick, second round.
So my next pick, I'm going to go. It's one of my favorite theme songs of all time. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. I think that song, and speak of another song that's been around for years. It started off when he turned heel and turned on Marty Jannetty, which Sensational Sherry is his manager doing the, "Oh, Shawn," in the beginning. Live on a podcast, yes.
Don't ever do that again.
I won't. I didn't do it. I didn't do it as good as Sensational Sherry, but I tried. And that's how it started. And then it evolved. Then he did it. He did his own lyrics. He was one of the first guys to really sing his own theme song. And the interesting factoid about that is that at the time, Jim Johnson, who would continue to do the themes for years, did all the themes, but not that one. There's a Jimmy Hart and a J.J. Maguire special. Now, I don't know who the hell J.J. Maguire is, but he did a lot of themes with Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart would later on go on to do all the themes pretty much for WCW. But that song, I think it's called Sexy Boy. So that's why I chose it too. Personal to me. But I'm kidding. But number 2, Shawn Michaels, baby.
Another great pick. So I'm up next. So my second pick, I'm torn between these two because they're both still available according to the rules. So if I got to make the pick, I'm going to go with Stone Cold Steve Austin as my second round pick.
Good one. And I'm going to knock that off the list. That was a good one.
Yeah, and the reason being is because just like the gong, I mean, is there anything more besides the gong, maybe more iconic in wrestling than hearing that glass shattering? I mean, my God, I've been fortunate enough, and I know you guys have been as well, to be in attendance when Austin's music has hit, and the goosebumps that just come to probably everybody in that crowd that day is bar none one of the greatest feelings in pro wrestling. Fred and I were at the Madison Square Garden show a year ago, right, which feels like an eternity ago. And when Austin kicked off the night at the Garden, the glass shattered. I thought the roof was coming undone. I mean, it was literally electrifying.
There's pops, and then there's Stone Cold pops.
Yeah.
You know, like the old term in wrestling was always the Road Warrior pop. That was like what they used in the back. Like, oh, he got a Road Warrior pop because the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, whatever, used to get crazy. But I'm going to switch it. I'm going to say it's an Austin pop because there's something different about that.
And the last point I'll make about Austin is I loved, and I don't know if you guys are ever going to say this in this pod, so sorry if I steal your thunder, but I really enjoyed his Disturbed theme song that he used for a year or two, but nothing's more iconic to me than the original, well, not the original, but the kind of modern day glass shattering theme song. So
I didn't like it so much when he did it because I didn't like the change because I loved his original. So at the time, I was like, I don't know. He had come back from his neck injury, and he started using that. But then as time went on, I grew to love it because it just became a song that I enjoyed. I wasn't so mad anymore that he wasn't using his original, which he would go back to. But that's a great pick, Miguel. That was going to be one of mine if I had the opportunity. That's a great one. That was inspired by Rage Against the Machine. He gave Jim Johnson. He wanted a song like Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine, and Jim Johnson came up with that, added the glass break, and the rest is history. That's a great pick.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, Nick, you're up next, my friend.
So I get back-to-back picks, but before I do, my 1A and 1B were Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Stone Cold.
Not that I think all 5 theme songs so far would have been in any top 30. I'm shocked that Stone Cold Steve Austin is off the board at 5. I really thought that would be the second overall in my opinion, but definitely on there. And just one minor note, and only because it plays at the start of our show, one of the first original theme songs where the wrestlers sing their songs is All American Boys by the Fabulous Rougeau Brothers, which is absolutely sung by them, which plays at the start of our show, which is the only reason.
That's right.
I didn't realize that it was them until really listening to it, and I'm like, that's definitely the Mounties singing that song.
Yeah, they were probably the first ones because
pretty funny stuff. But so I'm going number 6 overall, and I feel like this song probably fits in at 6 overall, regardless of what would have been my top 1 through 5. And I'm going to take at number 6 overall the Ultimate Warrior's theme song because I think there's nothing better than when those chords start to hit and your heart starts to pound, and you know that the man that's running down the aisle with full face paint, looking like an absolute warrior, no pun, is just it's time to get your ass kicked. So I'm going Ultimate Warrior number 6 overall. His theme song is really just about as good as it gets.
His theme was just as much a part of his character as anything.
100% agree.
Half of what he was that theme and him running to the ring, his entrance. But obviously more than his matches.
Yeah. It's true. So for number 7 overall, I think at this point, there's no wrong answers as long as there are songs that are picked. And I have one on my list of songs that I wanted to make sure I hit. And I'm not necessarily sure if you guys are going to hit it, but I don't want you to get an opportunity to hit it. So I'm going to pick it. Not that I think it's a top 10 theme song of all time. I do think it's a really good song, and I think arguably could be a top 10 theme song. Since we're going into WCW grounds, I'm going to take it. I think the Four Horsemen theme song with WCW is just fucking great. So I'm going to.
I didn't expect that on the list.
Yeah, that's the first one. That's the first one I didn't have on my list, actually.
But now that, like, I know, like, it could have been possibly because you guys it just slipped your mind. We're thinking of, there's literally thousands of theme songs. But like, now that you remember it, don't you think it's great?
It is. The sound of the horses in the beginning.
With the guitar play, I love it. I love it, man.
Arn Anderson would continue to use that. That would be like, he would still use that on the rare occasion he came out with entrance music. But yeah,
love it.
That's a nice one. I like that.
Good. All right. So I have number 8, Ron? Number 8 pick. Yep. So for the number 8 pick, I'm going to go with one that it's actually the one that I said I was between, and thankfully it's still on the list so I get the chance to say it. But there's been many renditions of this song, and there's not one in particular that I love, so I'm just going to mash it together and say that my next pick belongs to The Rock. Because no matter what rendition that you heard of his theme song, it always kicked off, besides one of them, with "If You Smell," and regardless of what came after that, I mean, it was an Austin type of pop, right? The place absolutely lost its mind. So, there's been many different versions of that song over the years. They've kind of fine-tuned it with the guitars and different, just instruments that they use for this song here. But I think more than anything, the song itself is just that beginning, right? I mean, almost nothing beats that iconic "If You Smell," and the place just, again, loses its mind. Because to me, a theme song is all about, can you get the crowd invested from the second your song starts, right? Yeah. Are people jumping up and down from their seats the second that your music hits? And to me, Rock's just easily one of those picks.
I even like the when he turned heel, look at the tongue, and the slower. And then before "If You Smell," he had "Do You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking?" Yep. And it was a little slower, but that, especially when he was a heel, that was great. The Rock, I mean, really anything. I mean, his most iconic is then when he switched to, like you said, "If You Smell," which he would still uses to this day. Like you said, it changed a little bit. They added a little more rock bump to it, a little more guitar. But that's a good one.
And real quick, I'll let you go with your next pick, but I even loved him when he was the heel, and it was the helicopter flying over LA or whatever, and it's like, "He's cooking." Like, it was pretty cool. So always got the crowd juice, and no doubt about it. So Fred, you're up next, my friend. I think you have the 9th pick now.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with, for my next one, I mentioned it before when I mentioned Chris Warren and the DX band. I'm going with "Are You Ready?" D-Generation X. When you hear that, "Are you ready?" And then it hits "Break It Down," and they come out, and there's your pop, brother. It still gets me to this day. I hear it pumps me up. I think it's one of those songs you could even play. Like, it doesn't have to be a wrestling theme song. You could play that, and it's still like a cool song. Like,
100%.
Like, you could tell somebody that doesn't like wrestling and play that and be like, "Oh, what fucking song was that?" And like, you just, I don't know, Rage Against the Machine or something. I forget the name of it. They wouldn't know the difference. Yeah.
It got me hyped up every time, I'll tell you that.
It's always been one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Good pick.
May he rest in peace, Chris Warren.
I know, man.
Years ago, it's sad, but
real sad. But yeah, great pick. So you're up again. So what do you got?
All right. So I did DX. And now I'm going to make a little controversial pick because I picked one side of the fence. Now I'm going to pick the other. You know where I'm going with this. And when I say it, I'm doing it for life.
That's right.
WO, going a little WCW on you. The craziest part about this song, I mean, it's still iconic to this day. Kevin Nash uses it. He just used it as recently as that Survivor Series when he came out for the Final Farewell. But that song was just in the Turner music catalog. They had like a music catalog, production music. and Bischoff found that one. I forget what the name of it was. It wasn't like
pulling it up now because, of course, I have it on my phone.
There you go. It wasn't like something that was created, that Jimmy Hart, like I said, he did the WCW one, put together. It was one that somebody made a production song, and luckily it had never been used before, and now it's an iconic theme song.
Dude, and the song itself, it's actually a really cool song. Like, it's really catchy. The actual music.
Like, I can't imagine what they would have used that in for production music. Like, what video that would have been used in. Like, what that you would have used the NWO theme song in.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those songs that, like, you feel like there's a gang coming out when you hear that music.
So I have it as Rock House by Frank Shelley.
Yes, Rock House. That's correct.
How about the and I don't know if this is either of your guys' picks either, but so sorry again if I steal your thunder, but what'd you guys think real quick of the Wolfpack song? That was a good one too. I like
Love it. Love it.
That was one of the songs that, like, 1998 me would have had probably in their top 3. Yeah. But, like, now, after I listen to the lyrics of the song, I'm kind of like, this fucking song's, like, nerdy. But it was cool at the time. Like, I really liked it.
I mean, it's got a great beat. I'm trying to think of what the inspiration was. It's inspired by a real rap song.
Yeah, I heard that too before.
Yeah, I can't remember. But Wolfpack's back or something like that is the
great song. So all right, well, I'm up next with my pick.
Before you go, Miguel, we are at the 1/3 mark after picking our top 10 songs. So let's just do a quick recap. We have leading off number 1, Hulk Hogan's Real American. Number 2 is Triple H's The Game. Number 3 is Rest in Peace with The Undertaker. Number 4 is the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels theme song, Sexy Boy. The Glass Shattering Stone Cold Steve Austin at number 5. We have the Ultimate Warrior at number 6, and then the Four Horsemen WCW version at number 7. The Rock's If You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking at number 8, and then we go back-to-back factions, the 2 biggest factions of the 90s. We have DX and then the NWO.
Great recap. All great songs so far. So for my next pick, which I guess I'm on number 11 now, for my next pick, it's going to be the first song probably, and maybe the only song that not even technically was written as a wrestling theme music, but turned into. Nick, you know where I'm going with this. My next song, and I'll tell you why, is going to be the Best in the World, CM Punk. When he changed the song to the Cult of Personality, like, man, oh man, how cool was that? I had heard that song in Ring of Honor, that he had used it when he did the Summer of Punk, and he brought it back after using the Kill Switch Engage CM Punk theme song, which I also like a lot. But, I mean, once that song got over, and it got over very quickly with the WWE Universe, I mean, when that music hit, right, when that static before his theme song hits, I mean, again, one of those moments, to me, wrestling theme songs are all about those moments. When that music hits, people lose their minds. And I play that song all the time in my car. I've played it at bars before. My friends and I have sang karaoke to it, so we are true marks. And it's just one of the greatest songs ever.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I would agree.
I know we were there. Nick, I don't know if you were there, but WrestleMania 29 in New Jersey, when they performed it live, Living Color, that was really cool. Great entrance.
Yeah, dude. And Living Color, awesome. They did a really good job of that too, I must say, right? That was a really good live performance of the song. Yeah.
And what's crazy is that, because that's an older song. I don't know if it's the 80s or the early 90s, whatever. But when Punk started using it, it like went on the iTunes charts. Yeah. And they acknowledged him, like, for making it popular again all these years later. But I had never heard that because I didn't follow Ring of Honor. The first time I heard that, actually, and I fell in love with the song, was in the Stone Cold Hall of Fame video package, which was in 2009, a couple years prior to Punk using it in WWE. And I remember hearing in the video package thinking, that's an awesome song. I love it, and I didn't know it when it came out, whatever. And then when Punk started using it, and then I obviously came to find out he had used it in Ring of Honor. But, yeah, that's just a great, great song. Pumps you up. From the moment Punk came out with it, when he came out that night when he had been gone for the couple of weeks and then came back with his title and faced Cena face-to-face, it felt special and still does. And hopefully one day we will hear that in front of an arena filled with screaming fans.
One can only hope. So, Nick, you're up next, my friend.
Yeah, so I think I'm really going to do my best to not use songs that, and I know, Hulk Hogan's Real American was really not written by like one of the WWE guys, but I'm really going to try not to use theme songs that are actual songs by actual bands that were songs before the wrestler took them. So that being said, for me, wrestling theme songs is all about nostalgia, and I think at this point, I'm just throwing names out there of theme songs that I really, really want to be on my list, not necessarily that I think would be in the top 10, but they're some of my favorite wrestling theme songs of all time. And I'm going to start with the Legion of Doom for really the same reason. You talk about the Road Warrior pop and all of that stuff, but just the Oh, What a Rush. And I'm not going to try to mock it like you guys have been trying to mock countless songs, but it's just it's really good. And I'm lucky enough to have heard that theme song live at some wrestling events, a little older than you guys, but it was big time and one that I really enjoy. And then I'm going to go with the 13th overall pick. I'm going back to WCW, and I'm going to take Goldberg's. I just love the songs. If you listen to outside of the Ultimate Warrior or outside of the Four Horsemen, I think you can make the argument that all four of my other songs, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, LOD, and Goldberg, have that real like bumping, just like heart-pounding music. That it's go time when you hear all four, and Goldberg's theme song is just the WWE version was just terrible. When they changed it in 2003-4, but give me WCW Goldberg. I mean, one of the greatest entrances of all time. In fact, if you type in Goldberg's greatest entrance in YouTube, it's the one that comes up, and it's him against Diamond Dallas Page at Halloween Havoc, and his walk to the ring. With the security around him is just, I mean, I know we're going into like greatest entrance territory, but
that's part of it.
Greatest themes.
That's part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no. And what was crazy about Goldberg is just like NWO. In fact, I just heard Goldberg say this from an interview a few years ago. He was sitting with Sting going through in a room going through a bunch of music. I guess I'm sure the Turner catalog, just like NWO. Came across that. It's called Invasion, and he thought it was badass, and he just chose that one. It's just crazy how, like, certain themes were thought of, and, like, especially in WWE, Jim Johnson, like, he would, come up with themes based on the character. And then other times it was just happenstance, and it worked out great. Yeah, Goldberg's a good one.
I like that song a lot. All right, so I'm up next. So I wrote down my list beforehand. I've been crossing off names that we've already talking about. So the next one I have that's available, and I think it's fitting because it's definitely one of my favorites, is I'm going to go with Edge's current theme song. It's definitely a fan favorite of mine. I love Alter Bridge, formerly Creed. I loved Creed a lot, actually. I think I had a few of their CDs growing up, but when Creed kind of disbanded in Alter Bridge.
That would be the most, like, I would have just bet money that you had Creed CDs as a kid.
Not as a kid, but I think I don't know. I don't know if I actually had a full CD or maybe it burned it or whatever. But
My Sacrifice videos were good, though, I will say.
Yeah, bro. Don't be knocking Creed. Anyway, so.
Are you ready? Yeah.
I like Alter Bridge, but I think Edge's song is a really great song. That You Think You Know Me, the beginning that he's used for every single one of his theme songs is obviously iconic, right? And we talk about the initial music when it hits, right? Does it make you have goosebumps? And in this case, yeah. But I think the song itself is really good. It's really catchy. I find myself playing it in the car sometimes, or listening to it on YouTube or whatever on Spotify. So I always thought it was a cool song. I love when Edge switched over to it, which I think was in 2005 or 2006, right when he joined up.
2005, yeah.
Yeah, when he joined up with Lita. So that's what I got next on my list. Fred?
That's a great pick.
That is a great pick. That song. I mean, geez, at the Rumble this year, how that might have been the best use of it.
But
Speaking of Edge, my next pick, which may surprise you, but it really shouldn't, I'm going with The Brood.
Wow.
I think The Brood, even though it was a short-lived, run, I think they have one of the best theme songs in wrestling history, and I think it doesn't get the notoriety that it should.
It definitely doesn't.
And it was just, I remember, when I first started watching wrestling, that was like one of the first themes I would hear, and it was on WCW Music Volume 3. That was the first wrestling CD I had, and it was always one. It was track number 7, and I used to play that one all the time. It was just, I think between that, and again, not to go into entrance territory, but like I said, it is a part of it, with that entrance, with the music and the way they walked, just everything together. But you could play that music and there's a thump to it. I mean, it's got a good groove to it. And I feel like it was a little ahead of its time for wrestling theme songs. But yeah, I'm going to go with Brood.
Great.
It's a great pick. I don't know if that necessarily would have been taken if you didn't take it, but it wouldn't be because it doesn't deserve it. It would have been because, like you said, it's just one that people don't think about.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I was like, I hope.
No, you get no arguments from me.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, honestly, I didn't have it on my list, but it's because I forgot about it, honestly.
Yeah, same.
Fantastic song. So, great pick. You're back to back. So, who's your next one?
Okay, so after The Brood, I'm going to go with another song that, not the same idea, but has a similar feel with Kane. I think Kane's original theme song, I wish he would start to use again, and still does to the current, maybe a little updated, but
it's close to it.
Yeah, but his original one, just it's iconic. I think I did love the Slow Chemical, the Finger 11 song, the Slow.
I think that's honestly, that's probably my favorite of his.
And that may be the best one overall. I will be honest, but like you say, you weren't trying to do like songs that were sung by other performers or So as far as a WWE produced song, I'm good, and because that is so iconic, and people probably think of that with the original look. Yeah, Slow Chemical is probably my favorite one, but as far as like history, I'm going to go with Kane's original song.
I like it, dude. Yeah, and honestly, don't listen to Nick. If you want to pick a song that was...
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that I'm not picking them. Like, you guys go ahead. I mean, I think the Jimi Hendrix, Hulk Hogan theme song is fucking awesome. But I'm just
good shit.
I'm just not picking it because I'm not picking ones that are real songs beforehand.
Right.
But you do you, man.
Nevertheless, a good pick. I like it a lot. So I'm up next, and the next pick for me is actually not a song that has been written by an artist, an actual famous artist, like my last two picks. But I'm going with Brock Lesnar's theme song because, again,
that's a good one.
That guitar riff, right, when it hits, for me, you see my theme here. It's all about that first moment that the music hits. So it gets me hyped, right, to this day. Every time Brock Lesnar's music hits, not just because it's Brock Lesnar, because he's one of the greatest showmen in wrestling history, right? He's a box office attraction. But if he had terrible music, I really don't know if I would like him as much as I do. I think the song is a great song, and it certainly gets me hyped every time he comes on the screen. So that's my pick.
No, I have no arguments with that.
Good.
Yeah, no, that's a great pick. So now I'm going 18 and 19, and this is where it starts to get very tricky because, like I said, there are a ton of songs you could pick in this category. So I got to just go knee-jerk without any thought because I feel like if a list is a true list, it's without like too much thought, just gun to your head. What's the next song you're picking? And one of the most unpopular / arguably really the most popular wrestler of all time is the guy who also would write his own theme music. And every theme music that he's had has been written by him. And all of the battles, that he, or all of the freestyles that he would come out with were all him. And I'm going to go John Cena's.
That was my next one.
Wait. But here's something important. I don't mean to interrupt, but which one? His current song, My Time Is Now, or Word Life?
Yeah, that's got to be it. Yeah, I mean, Word Life was great at the time. It was great. It was still cool. He brought it out a couple years ago at WrestleMania, like in the beginning. But yeah, I mean, My Time Is Now. I mean, that's become iconic. Yeah.
It's definitely an iconic song. I love it.
So I love that one. And then I'm going to go, again, a song I don't think anybody's going to pick, but I could be wrong, but I'm going to get it out of the way now. The opposite of the Legion of Doom, or I should say the WWE version of the Legion of Doom, is Here Comes the Axe and Here Comes the Smasher. And I'm going Demolition because I think their theme song is just fucking great. And of course, looking at it now, they look like two cross-dressing dominatrixes. But at the time, you got to understand, as a 4 or 5 year old, seeing them come out is just like the coolest fucking thing in the entire world. So I'm going Demolition with my theme song.
Yeah, that's an iconic song. Sometimes I feel like Demolition gets a bad rap because like there are people that love them, but then there's people that say they were like a Legion of Doom ripoff. And even if they were, who cares? They were great in their own right. I don't feel like
They were.
Demolition gets their fair due when people put that, that stigma on them that, they were WWE's answer to the Legion. Okay, yeah. Well, and they were great at it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were, what was the guy that was in WCW that was an Ultimate Warrior ripoff?
Renegade.
Renegade.
That's right.
I mean, come on. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like certain things work, certain things don't. And that Demolition obviously worked.
By the way, loved Renegade.
Well, then I don't know how much I value your Demolition pick. If you like Renegade.
I love anybody in face paint, I think, is basically as a kid, that was just so cool.
Well, that's the point. Face paint. Yeah, I mean, that's why the guys did it back then.
Yeah.
And still do,
Yep.
Good pick. So I'm up, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
You're up at number 20, so we're about to be 66% done. So as soon as you pick your 20th, we'll recap one more time.
All right. So for the 20th pick, what I have next on my list is the first theme song, I think, of the current generation, and that's the Fiends theme song. I love that rendition of Bray Wyatt's theme.
Yeah.
I did like it when he was Bray Wyatt, and it's obviously the same lyrics, but a different band that sings it now. And I just think it's such a really cool song. I mean, I love it. When he comes out, right, they do that little intro they do with the Firefly Funhouse, and then all of a sudden it's like the record gets scratched and it goes into reverse, and then all of a sudden you see the music starting, right, and the guitars and the drums starting up, and then all of a sudden they start singing his song, Catching Flies. This is going to be my little singing here.
Oh my God.
It sounds just like that.
You own a cat?
Well, no one says I should ever win any type of Grammys or anything like that, but I think it's a great song. It's very catchy, and to me, I think it's currently the best theme song in pro wrestling. So that's
I agree. I mean, the Mark Crozer is the one that did it originally. That was again, Bray Wyatt picked it from a catalog of music, which WWE didn't normally do, but it was like a thing of music that they had and somehow was in there, and that was great. But then when Code Orange took it, when he came out at SummerSlam last year against Finn Balor, the first time he made an entrance, and they redid it. I mean, Code Orange is not necessarily my type of music, but they're an awesome band. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
And, they've done a few things with NXT.
I was gonna say Triple H seems to be very high on them because he uses.
Yeah. No, they're good. I think it was Takeover Brooklyn 3.
There.
Song. I forget the name of the song, and they performed live. And apparently they were going to perform Bray live this year at Mania.
I know.
Then with the world ending, it didn't happen. But I'm sure at some point at a WrestleMania we will see Code Orange play the Fiend out live to the ring. Maybe this year.
Good.
I'll plead ignorance on this. Do they still do the cell phone fireflies for his entrance? I mean, obviously they haven't done it for a year, but because nobody's been there. But when he was coming out, they weren't doing that, right?
Yeah, they still were. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think I like his original like Bray Wyatt theme with when it was really just about the fireflies versus his now. But I think his now is like the intro is really cool. I don't know, man. It's hard to argue.
Well, that guy did it. Mark Crozer is his name. He's not a famous singer or anything, but he did it live at WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
I know. I remember they had like the long, it was like from like Beetlejuice, the fucking the beacon shit.
It was cool. So Nick, why don't you give us our recap before Fred goes on?
I'll do this one quicker because we're reading 1 through 10 a second time. And then, of course, before we go into 30, we'll do it one more time. So we got Hulk Hogan at 1, Triple H, Undertaker, HBK, Stone Cold, The Ultimate Warrior, The Four Horsemen, The Rock, DX, NWO, CM Punk, Legion of Doom, Goldberg, Edge, The Brood, Kane, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Demolition, and The Fiend at number 20. So we are going into our final 10.
All right, Fred. So kick us off with 21, my friend.
All right, here we go with 21. Ironically 21, because 21 was the WrestleMania that this man won the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event. Not using the theme song I'm about to mention, using his original iteration, which was also decent. But I'm going with Batista, I Walk Alone by Saliva. I love Saliva. I went to Survivor Series 02. The theme song to that was Always. So I have a connection to that band, but I think their version of Batista's theme song is one of the best. Surprised it took me this long to get here to say it in the draft, but I'm here. And one of my favorite things is seeing Xavier Woods, who also loves this song, backstage at WrestleMania last year when Batista had his final match against Triple H. And Xavier Woods is singing along to the entrance, going crazy. I mean, that, along with the machine gun pyro, it's just so good. So I'm going with Batista, I Walk Alone.
Dude, real quick. So, reminded me that I love the song too. A great pick, but how cool was it last year with Batista's entrance, right? With like the whole Hollywood theme, and he thought he was better than the rest of the locker room with like all those Escalades coming out and security all over, right? And then he comes out of the one Escalade. I just thought it was such a cool entrance. I think they both had awesome entrances, but
I think him and Triple H, I think they had one of the best matches of the night. It was an old school fight. I loved how they brought the nose ring into it. Triple H taking the nose ring with the ply. Just like old school shit that like guys today don't do. Like there's no brawls like that. There's fights, but that was like a fight, like old school fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did a really good job with that.
Great.
Match.
Good. So you have back to back. So now 22.
Oh, so my next one, I'm gonna go with a theme that maybe could be, considered, one that should definitely be in, and one that people may not even consider. I'm going with Goldust's theme song.
Okay.
I think it could be an argument that Goldust's theme song is one of the best, and then you could have people that say they don't even consider it. But I just think his song, especially for that time in '95, the whole character was ahead of its time. But the entrance, the gold falling down, the golden flakes, and when that music hit, you knew it was just like Undertaker. Something special was happening. It was, and he's continued to use that song, through the end of his career at WWE. Obviously now he's in AEW, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Goldust theme song. There's been different names for it. Gold Lust. I think it depends what album you look at. WWE's been known to change the names of their songs depending on what the album was called. But Goldust theme song, yeah, call him Goldust.
Good pick.
Don't ever forget the name or the theme song of Goldust.
I figured you would do the thing too. You didn't do.
I didn't want to put too much into it. I didn't want to be too weird.
Oh no, you're already too weird, but
that's
okay. So I love the pick a lot. That was a great pick. So I'm up next, number 23. So for my next pick, I'm torn between. Now this next wrestler I'm picking actually has two great theme songs, and I'm torn between which one of the two I'm gonna go with. But ultimately, I'm gonna pick this one because of the longevity, and that's Chris Jericho's "Break the Wall Down." And before I do, I got to put the caveat out there that I love the Judas song that he uses in AEW right now. I think it's a great song. It's one of the only songs that gets the crowd involvement into it, right? When they sing his song, and I was on his cruise, I know I've talked about it before, you had the entire cruise ship singing his song. I've never been to an AEW show besides the cruise, but on every show, obviously prior to COVID, and even right now, because AEW does have limited fans, they do have the fans singing his theme song. But I'm going to go with Break the Walls Down, again, just because of the atmosphere it creates, right? I will never forget my favorite moment of his song was the 2013 Royal Rumble, right? When Dolph Ziggler comes out number one and says, whoever comes out next, just bring them out anyway. And then all of a sudden you hear, break the wall down. And the place goes insane. And you hear the King go, "This place, the arena is shaking." Like it's literally just coming unglued because
nobody knew. That was a great surprise. That was one of the rare times they were able to pull something like that off. Nobody knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know the surprise obviously is probably like 80 to 85% of the pop, but the song itself too. I mean, I'm a big believer that if your theme song sucks, your pop is going to be big, but it's not going to be as big as it is for these top theme songs.
That's the whole point of this song. It's got to get the people excited and like happy to see you and like pump them up, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. Jericho's theme is great. And even like you said, I mean, Break the Walls Down is definitely on my list. And I have to admit, Judas, even though I'm not an AEW guy, I think Judas is a great song. I think Fozzy has really put some good stuff out the last like few years. Like their last 2 albums have been pretty damn good, and they're really starting to get the recognition the last 5 years or so that I think they deserve. I like either song, but yeah, I mean, Break the Walls Down is iconic in the wrestling world for sure. Good pick.
Thank you. So Nick, you're up, my friend.
So just a couple things real quick while we're running into it. The Saliva. Hey, Fred, do you remember when Jericho had all the titles? It was them who did the King of the World, right?
Yep. They performed.
That fucking song is great.
I spoke about Survivor Series 02. The band, the Saliva band, performed from WWE New York.
Yeah, for the Elimination Chamber.
Right, and they played him live to the ring that night. Yeah, that was I think that might have been like the only time he used it. It was on one of the albums WWE had put out. I don't know if it was on an anthology. They put it on the anthology that they were putting out at the time. Yeah. But it was like the only time he used it. And I liked it, but he only used it that one time.
It just popped into my head before.
Vince didn't like it. Vince, because they did another version of his theme song years later. That's on one of the albums. I think it's like WWF Volume 8 or something. Mm-hmm. And he was going to use it, and Vince didn't like that either. Vince liked the original, and that's why it never got any use. But yeah, King of the World, I think, is a good song. Yeah,
it was a good song.
King of the World.
Yeah, I fucking love that song.
Something like
that. So you guys obviously don't know my house setup, but basically it's one room into another. There's no like door. So my wife is literally staring at me, daggers, that I haven't picked this one particular wrestler's theme song. And Miguel, I think you probably have an idea of who it is. I'm not going to pick them yet. I'm hoping that you know, they'll definitely be picked by me, if not picked by one of you guys, because I'll get divorced if I don't pick them. But I'm going with what could arguably be the greatest theme song of all time, and I will fight anybody on this. And that's Bobby Roode's Glorious. It's like one of my favorite theme songs of all time. And it's so lame in a way, but at the same time, like, it's so great. And like, it's one of those songs where like you hear it and you're like, that song sucks. But then like you continue to listen to it over and over and over again, and then the fans' involvement. And it's impossible to not just, it's like an intoxicating, addicting song. Like it's impossible to like it.
Dude, I'll tell you a quick story. So I was at a Giants game. I forget who they were playing, but we were tailgating, and the people next to us had a massive speaker, right? So they're just playing music, not wrestling music, just regular like songs, right? Like while drinking, playing flip cup, whatever, pong. And then all of a sudden, I heard, and I'm like, there's no way. And I'm like, did I hear that right? And then I hear Glorious. And these dudes just like break out into like Bobby Roode, like doing the twirl and everything. I'm like, are you guys like wrestling fans? And they're like, yeah, bro. But more than wrestling fans, we love that theme song. And I was just like,
oh, that's best, great, man. You can argue that song with anything. It's just such a great song.
That's a great song. Do you know who that was originally supposed to be for?
Shinsuke.
Who?
Imagine Shinsuke Nakamura coming out. And I hope, well, somebody may, but not, I mean, I'm going to go out here. I'm sorry if I steal anybody's thunder, but we'll call this one a draw. But Shinsuke's theme.
Yeah.
The fact that none of us have mentioned that, how great is that theme song?
His theme song is good.
It's really
I mean, even as, like, they redid it when he turned heel, like, with the Asian guy singing. I don't know what he's saying, but it, you know, it's catchy too. But that
he's rapping now.
I
do like it though. It is good.
The original one, So I mean, it's just.
Oh yeah.
Feel free to still pick it, but I had to get that out there.
No, I have basically, we're coming to the end, and I have 2 picks left. So one guy I'm going to pick at number 30 if not picked by then because of the sentimental value the theme song has. But before I take that, I'm going to take and a guy who's had multiple theme songs. He had a theme song with a tag team partner. Once he went into his singles career, he kept that same theme song. And then around 96-ish, I think, maybe 95, it started with I shouldn't say air guitar, but it starts with that electric guitar, and that's Bret the Hitman Hart. So I'm taking Bret Hart's theme song at number 25. I'm surprised it's lasted this long, but only because how does Bret Hart's theme song last this long? If you look at all the other songs on the list, you can understand why, because I don't think there's a bad song on the list. I think everybody did a pretty good job with the prep and the homework, but give me Bret the Hitman Hart's theme song, and I'll go with the 1996 and on version of the electric guitar.
Dude, I'll say, and this probably maybe an unpopular opinion, but I think it's a good song, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. Well, clearly, since I haven't picked it, right? But
yeah,
I don't know. It's a good song, but it never got me. Maybe just because of I don't know. For whatever reason, it's not a bad song. It's certainly an awesome pick, but I just think and if I were up next, I have a few other songs that I have in front of that, but it was just never one of my personal favorites. But definitely an iconic theme song. So, all right. So I'm up next. So what number are we on, Nick? I lost track.
We're on number 26.
Okay, so it's my turn, right? I'm up, yeah. All right, so for my 26th pick, and it sounds like I have 2 picks to go. So for number 26, I'm gonna go with Evolution theme song.
Oh my God, I can't. What is it with you? What is with you?
It's a great song, right? I mean, I love Motorhead. Motorhead's done a lot of great songs for Triple H, but I don't know. I love the song of Evolution. I mean, when that music hits, you certainly get hyped. I mean, maybe it's just me because I'm a Hunter Mark, and I'll always be a Hunter Mark, and I know Fred is too. But, I mean, man, I heard it as recently as I was at the SmackDown 1000th episode, and the night that Batista first returned, and it kind of did that slow build for him and Triple H. I marked out big time. Me and my buddy Dracina that was with us, we marked out big time when that music hit, and you hear Evolution. Like, it's just such a cool song. And to me, it's not only one of the best theme songs of all time, but after DX and NWO, I'm going to go on a limb and say it's the best faction song of all time as well, too.
Well, I mean, what I love about that song is that it's different than a lot of wrestling theme songs because it's very chill, and it's got the guitar riffs, but it's a relaxing vibe, which is the idea of Evolution. They're these cool guys, chilling, so it fit them perfectly. I like the Evolution pick. I also though was a fan of Bret Hart's theme song. I did like he came back in 2010. They put a little more oomph on it, and I thought that it only enhanced it a little bit, didn't take away from it. So I like that too. But yeah, no, Evolution, their original song was good even without Motorhead. They had an original one.
Yeah.
So I remember it was cool. And then Motorhead did it, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, I think both are good picks there.
You're up, sir.
All right, you're going into your final 2 picks. So let's do this. Let's hit your number 27. Then for everybody's final pick, hit one honorable mention real quick, not any kind of deep dive into it, and then give me what is your actual final pick.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead, Fred, with your first of the last 2.
All right. So I'm going to go with one that I don't know how we've come to 27 and not mentioned it at all. It's just mind-boggling to me that out of the 3 of us, none of us have. But Ric Flair, 2001 Space Odyssey. I mean, that song is iconic on multiple levels.
Yeah.
Used in commercials. It's worldwide known. But at least in the wrestling world, Flair made that song iconic. And there's been a couple variations when he was in WWE in the 90s and things of that nature. But I mean, the bass song, just dun dun dun. I mean, it's Ric Flair.
I love it. I love the song, dude. Every time it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one of those ones that get you hyped, like, oh yeah, but it's just an iconic theme song.
Great pick.
Yeah.
Great pick. So before we go into our last three, so Nick, who's going first with the honorable mention? You want to kick it off first, real quick?
No, Fred can give his honorable mention, and then.
Okay, so Fred, give us your honorable mention.
And if it's part of one of our picks, then it's part of one of our picks. But what's a song that you're not going to pick, but you wish we were doing this?
I'm glad we're doing the honorable mention, because I had a hard time not choosing it because I just didn't know if it was worthy. But I think a great theme song, The Godfather. I think that song, it just has it fit his character. You felt good when it came out. You go watch Survivor Series from last week or 2 weeks ago. When he came out, there was a couple guys in the ring doing a little dance. You can't help but just jive to it, whether you can't dance or not. And I sure as hell can't. But that song comes on, and I think I am a fucking pimp. You know what I mean? All
right. Well, that's great to hear. All right. So my honorable mention, and it might honestly be, and for no reason besides the fact that we didn't pick it, but it's definitely the first female theme song, and maybe the only one, but I love Charlotte's theme song. That's my honorable mention. It's a remix of Space Odyssey 2001.
Yeah.
To me, it's the greatest women's wrestling theme song of all time, but that's my honorable mention. I love the song.
So my honorable mention would be what I think would actually make my top 10, but again, for sentimental value, I'm going to pick something different at number 30. But one theme song that I absolutely love, I just think it's the coolest theme song, and one that I think if we did the top 50, I think if we did the top 100, I don't know if it necessarily would have hit a list, but to me, I just absolutely love it. And again, it's the first song that pops into my head when we're doing this. A song that I absolutely love is from a superstar that hailed from Cobb County, Georgia. And that's going to be the Big Boss Man. And his original Police Officer theme song is just so cool to me. It was, again, one of those songs that's a part of my childhood. I, again, saw him live. I'm just a big fan of Ray Traylor anyway. But the Big Boss Man, to me, his theme song is just really an entertaining theme song that really tells an entire story in an era where the wrestlers all had their own gimmicks. They all had different professions. He was a cop. His theme song is just iconic. I mean, if you don't remember it or anything like that, you should play it on YouTube and listen to it, because it is pretty cool.
I actually liked his Corbett theme song. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, okay.
I remember liking that one growing up too. But yeah, really good honorable mention, guys. I like that. So Fred, you're up first with the final pick. So give us your final and as to why you're going with this person.
My final pick, again, one of those ones I'm surprised it took this long to get here, but it seems like an obvious choice. Randy Orton Voices.
Yeah.
I mean,
iconic.
It's just it's iconic. I also enjoyed his theme prior to that, Burning My Light. I thought that was a cool song.
Yeah.
But Voices by Rev Theory, just it fits him perfectly still to this day. He's been using it like 11 years now at least. And I just think it's a great song outside of wrestling. If you played it, it's one of those songs you can play outside of wrestling. And I think it's still cool. But especially in wrestling, it's a great song. Great.
Yeah.
Get you put you in that mental state for when Orton comes out. It's business.
I love it, dude. Really great.
I think it's a great song.
Pick. Great final pick. So for my final pick, I'm gonna go with someone that I absolutely hated in my childhood. He was one of Triple H's biggest rivals for quite some time in the early 2000s, but man, oh man, what an iconic theme song. And that's Kurt Angle's theme song, Metals. I mean, my God, when those trumpets hit, dun, 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 dun. I mean, forget it. Like, it's just an awesome, awesome moment. Thankfully, I got to see a few of his matches and be in attendance for a few times that music hit. But man, when that song comes on, again, just one of those songs where it gives you goosebumps from the moment that his music starts. So I never liked Kurt Angle as a child growing up just because of his, funny business with Stephanie McMahon and, me being a mark at 10 years old or 11 years old. He tried to take the game's wife at the time, so I never liked the guy. But now looking back, I not only do I appreciate the work that he did in the ring, but of course his theme song is one of my favorites of all time. So I'll blast that every once in a while. Shout out to my boy Jay Partika. It's his favorite wrestler of all time. My man will blast his theme song all day, every day in that car. I know. I've been in his car before. So, Nick, you have the coveted last pick here. So who do you got for your final pick, my friend?
So to just do one more final recap, we got Hulk Hogan, Triple H, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, The Ultimate Warrior, The Four Horsemen, The Rock, DX, NWO, CM Punk, Legion of Doom, Goldberg, Edge, The Brood, Kane, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Demolition, Fiend, Batista, Goldust, Y2J, Bobby Roode, Bret Hart, Evolution, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, Kurt Angle, and number 30, Mr. Irrelevant in the NFL draft, the final pick. And I'm going to go with the song that my wife and I came out to when we were first introduced as husband and wife. And of course, I did want to not choose any song that was a song before this wrestler took it. I'm breaking my own rules with this song, but give me Daniel Bryan at number 30. The video of my wife and I coming out to that song and doing the yes chant when it was at its height of the yes movement is just a memory that I'm glad I have on DVD. Miguel, truth be told, in the video is one of the only people marking out doing the yes movement, yes chant, and I appreciate Miguel for that. But give me Daniel Bryan at number 30.
Dude, what a great pick. And just a quick little side note. Yeah, I was going, Fred. I was going, yes at the wedding. And my wife, Lindsay, my now wife, at the time girlfriend, you guys know Lindsay, was next to me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, yes. People are looking next to us, Fred, and they're like, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
That's fantastic. Well, if I was there, I would have been right there with you.
I got a funnier story. I don't know if Miguel remembers. I don't know how much you drank at our wedding, but I remember you coming up to me at our wedding. You were like, how did you get your wife to agree to a wrestling theme song to come out to? And fast forward all these years later, and Miguel and Lindsay on their wedding day come out to, of course, Triple H's The Game theme song.
Yeah.
So he obviously
He
took the advice that I gave him on how to get your wife to pick a wrestling theme song.
Yeah, honestly, you may have been the night that sealed the deal for me. So I got to thank you for it. I never publicly thanked you. So
well, I hope you think of me every time you seal the deal. I hope I'm the first person that pops into your head.
Wow. Oh, God, that's some nightmares there. But this was a lot of fun, guys. I really enjoyed this episode. I hope all of you guys at home listening to this did as well, too. As always, if you like the show, follow us on social media. You can find us on the TruExact platform, on Instagram, on YouTube. Subscribe to the show, please, at TruExact Radio. You can listen to the show, of course, as always, on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and the podcast app on iPhone as well, too. So next week, we have an awesome edition. We're going to do the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs preview show for the next pay-per-view coming up. A lot of great things happening. I'm excited for that card. So, guys, again, thanks so much for today, and I look forward to us speaking next week about TLC.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks,
yes,
guys.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.